Okay, picture this. You're sitting on your couch, the curtains are still drawn, you want something, you've got your phone in your hand, so you just tap. A few minutes later, food shows up. Then you want something else, so you tap again. Now you've got a package on its way to you. You get bored, so you tap again. Now you've got something playing on your big screen. Instant reward. Then you start to feel that little urge again. You need some information, so you tap again. Every time, not much effort, not much waiting, no getting up off the couch. Just press a button and get a pellet. A reward. And after a while, you don't even think about it that way anymore. It just becomes natural. So, does this picture I've painted, does it sound familiar? Maybe I should just put a picture here on the screen. If it makes you happy, it can't be that bad. If it makes you happy, then why the heck are you so sad? As Gen Xers, we've fallen into our share of traps over the years. Too much debt, bad food, social media. But what if the biggest trap that Gen X fell into is being revealed right now? What if that's conditioning, programming? Conditioning with a monetary price tag, but even a health cost as well. We're literally a living experiment, living in a cage of our own making. Back in the day, there was this scientist named B.F. Skinner, and he discovered that he could control rats' behavior by the timing of certain rewards, and in their case, that was food pellets. Does that sound familiar? Because it's not hard to compare the likenesses. The rat or the animal being us. The cage, well, that's our house or our living room or our bedroom. The button or the lever is obviously our phone. And the food pellets are all of the infinite array of things that give us that dopamine hit, that instant gratification. So let's get into these a little deeper and talk about the tremendous costs associated with them. Because those costs, they're not all obvious. Also, how they'll only get worse if we don't find a way to snap out of it and resist. Don't be the proverbial rabbit in the stew pot. Okay, first point is the house, it became the cage. You remember the term cocooning? It became popular in the late 90s. That was the desire for people to, just stay at home more often. But we could have never imagined that it could go this far. The cage that we've built, it doesn't consist of iron bars. It's a velvet trap. It's so comfortable that we don't want to leave. Just think about what's keeping us inside. You've got climate control, fast Wi-Fi, every snack imaginable. You've got voice assistants and doorbell cameras. It's all designed to make sure you never have to leave. Is this the future we dreamed about when we watched the Jetsons? Or is it just a high-tech version of that Skinner box? Okay, point number 2 is the remote control life. What started way back when with a simple TV remote to now our entire home, it's rigged with levers. Except now the levers are apps and smart speakers. We push a button and we get, just about anything. You've got the physical things such as food, Amazon packages. You've got the digital pellets. You got shows and news and social media likes, and then the emotional hits. You can go from comfort, laughter, to anger, or just distraction if you want. The sky's the limit. And every time we tap, we're being trained. We're being conditioned to need less effort, less patience, less contact with the real world. And that's the real danger here. It's not just about being lazy or spending money. It's about conditioning. But the real price isn't the $14.99 that it costs for the app. It goes way beyond that. It's what's happening to your actual personality, which we'll get to that in a second. Now, point number 3 is the rewards. They get faster and faster. Food packages, entertainment, everything. It has to be faster than it was before. Even the progression of that is getting faster, because these powers that be, they know they're working with our biology and our primal nature and even the limits that exist within that. They have to know that they're wearing out and depleting our dopamine stores. So they're just getting more and more ruthless about it. Remember when flipping through the catalog and knowing that it would take 6 to 8 weeks for delivery? And it was okay. We didn't know any different. And now the food delivery and the Amazon and all the other packages, they're arriving sooner and sooner because they have to compete against each other. In our minds, we love it. Just like those little critters, that in the cages. They didn't want to leave the cage. They knew they had it good right where they were. They didn't know any different. But we do. And speaking of faster, YouTube videos, they're now considered long-form content. I get comments that I talk too slow, that I'm unwatchable because I talk too slow. And that's because TikTok has rotted our attention spans. And things are not only getting more faster, but more and more options are becoming available. And the perfect example of that is the unlimited, on-demand entertainment choices that we have today. Instead of planning with the TV guide or that much anticipated monthly HBO guide that would come in the mail, remember those? Loved those. And now we don't even sit with our own thoughts anymore. We consult social media and ChatGPT for opinions and advice. Tiny emotional pellets just dropping into our brain. And instead of looking out the window, we just pull up our Ring camera instead. The rewards are instantaneous, and we know it. We've been conditioned to expect it. Okay, point number 4 is the hidden costs. Of course, some of the costs, they're obvious. You see those subscription fees on your credit card statement, and you know and feel the effects of being more sedentary. But there are more costs, more long-term costs, and they don't always show up on a receipt. We're literally outsourcing the things that make us human. First, we're outsourcing our own survival skills. We've traded cooking for delivery. We've traded navigation for a blue dot on the screen. We've even traded memory for a search bar. But even more than that, we're outsourcing our resilience. When everything is instant, we're losing our ability to be patient. We lose the capacity for productive boredom. That's the kind of quiet space where your best ideas or even solutions, where they're born. And the result isn't just convenience. It's social anxiety, isolation, and a dopamine debt. And that just leaves us tired and unmotivated. We're getting exactly what we tapped for, but we're losing ourselves in the process. In 1985, if you wanted to see a friend, you had to call their house, hope they were home, and then coordinate a time. It took some work, but it made that visit, that relationship, more valuable. And today, we just tap a heart on the screen or in response to a text, and we call that a relationship. We've traded effort for ease, and in response to that, we've lost those connections. But we don't necessarily have to throw our phones in the trash to get our brains back. We just need to stop making it so easy for the machines. So point number 5 is how to break the conditioning. Now here's the reality that our brains love. They love shortcuts. Always have. Because saving energy, that used to mean survival. And the answer isn't to throw your phone in the river and go move in a cabin. It's about adding a little bit of beneficial friction back into your life. Not a lot, just enough to remind your brain that you're still the one in charge. And for Gen X, this is the easy part. We've already lived this. We know how to do this. First, start reclaiming your kitchen. Stop the one-tap dinners. It doesn't have to be a 5-course dinner. My cousin, he has a set rotation that he has lived with for years. Every night of the week is a different meat, but it's the same every week. Burgers on Monday, chicken on Thursdays. It takes the whole decision fatigue out of it. For me, the way I do it, it's my seasonal breakfasts. In the winter, it's eggs and oatmeal. In the summer, it's eggs and a smoothie. Every day. Next, reclaim your entertainment. The algorithms, they want to feed you content pellets based on what you just watched or what you just tapped on. So break that loop. Get yourself an HD digital antenna and put it on your TVs. Now I get nearly 60 channels for free. And there's something grounding about watching TV live again. Channel surfing, even sitting through commercial breaks or happening upon that 80s or 90s sitcom that you haven't watched in years. Unplanned. Or even better, put on an album or a CD. Not a playlist, but an album, start to finish. Just last week, I did this with the Foreigner 4 album. Hadn't listened to it probably since the 80s. But I remembered every song as I was going through the track listing. And if you don't have your CDs or tapes anymore, just look it up here on YouTube. Just put in whoever and full album. And just play it the way it was intended. And finally, just choose the hard way once a day. Go into the store instead of doing curbside pickup. Or look out the actual window instead of looking through your Ring app. And I know in some instances it's just too hard to go back. Our lives now revolve around these conveniences. Like we're probably not going to go around and start carrying real cash anymore, or mailing letters through snail mail. But it's about being selective. It's about finding ways to stop reactively just slamming that reward button the way a lab animal would. And just think about it. All those little small actions, those friction points, I call them, those were the very things that kept us connected to the real world. And maybe we don't need to bring everything back, but bringing some of it back, that might be enough. Now, all of this isn't really just about convenience. It's just the label they use to mask the conditioning that's going on all around us. And think about what we're actually trading away. We're being disconnected from the random, serendipitous encounters that make life interesting. The unexpected conversations at the grocery store, the wrong turn that leads to a new favorite spot. Instead, we're being algorithmically routed into the same circuits, the same opinions, and the same comfortable cage. So as we move forward, the real question is maybe this: how much of our humanity are we willing to trade to make life easier? So I'm curious, do you feel this velvet trap in your own life? What's one piece of friction that you're thinking about bringing back? We can talk about it in the comments. And hit the like button if this gave you something to think about. I hope you have a great week. Stay Gen X strong, and I'll see you in the next video. Later.